I have been influenced by the stunningly gorgeous makeup artist Rosemarie Swift to try her line of organic makeup called RMS Beauty. So today we are doing almost a full face of RMS Beauty. I have a lot of products here, most of which I purchased on my own using the 20% discount code that RMS has generously given us. A few were sent in PR, but at this point I have no idea which is which. Anyway, we will swatch and try on and see how these products work on my almost 65-year-old very dry skin. And stay tuned until the end of the video because I will be ranking all 10 of the products that I'm sharing with you today. As always, I will include timestamps, product links, and discount codes in the description box below and in the top pinned comment. If this sounds fun to you, throw this video a thumbs up and let's get into it. Starting with RMS's newest release, the Sun Cover-Up Super Tint SPF 50. This is a daily tinted moisturizer with mineral SPF superpowers infused with 94% skincare ingredients. Lots of skincare claims. According to Rosemarie, this long-wearing, skin-loving multitasker hydrates the skin, protects from the sun's damaging rays, and provides lightweight, breathable coverage that effortlessly evens the skin tone for a naturally radiant complexion. Having said that, I actually measured. It would take at least 4 pumps to get the 1/4 of a teaspoon that is required to achieve the SPF of 50 on the label. Today I'm going to be using about 1 pump, which will give me about an SPF of around 10, maybe 12 at best, nowhere near enough protection, which is why I never rely on my makeup for my sun protection, and I always wear a dedicated standalone daily SPF. This is $49 and it comes in 13 flexible shades. More on shades in a minute. Now, I have been playing with this for the past several days. Spoiler alert. So far, I'm not really loving it. Although it is very long lasting on my very dry skin, it does tend to cling to dry patches that I didn't even know I had, and my skin feels drier and drier as the day wears on, which I thought was really strange since this is supposed to be a hydrating product. Like I said, it comes in 13 shades, which is not a great range, even for a skin tint. However, it does cover a wide range of tones, from very fair to very deep. I ordered the shade Cameo, which is the 3rd from the lightest, and is described as light medium almond. It does pull a little too warm on me, but I really didn't see another shade that would work any better for me. Anyway, I am giving this one more chance. And last night I did a deep exfoliation with my Drunk Elephant Sukari Baby Facial AHA exfoliating mask. And then this morning I used an extra layer of my Dermatology Peptide Night Cream to really hydrate and plump my skin. As always, when I am demonstrating skin tints, I went in with my Dermatology Broad Spectrum Untinted SPF 45. I did all my skincare about an hour ago, so everything is sunk in and my skin feels nicely hydrated, plump, and ready for makeup. Anyway, let's get this on my skin. Now, it does say to shake it well, so I'm giving it a good shake. It does come in a glass bottle with a pump, and you can see it is pretty liquidy. I am going to do one side of my face with my fingers and the other side with a brush. First with my fingers. I think you can see it really is a little bit too warm for my complexion. You know, even though it is pretty liquidy, it has a little bit of a creaminess as you apply it to the skin. It doesn't feel real watery or thin. It also, interestingly enough, gets sort of tacky fairly quickly, like it's drying down fairly quickly. So I would recommend doing one side of your face at a time, or one area at a time. But it does blend nicely. And I don't know, the shade is just a little bit too warm for me. Okay, so here is one side with a light layer of tint, and here is no foundation or skin tint. Now I am going to do this side of my face with a brush. I'm using my BK Beauty, I think this is the 106. And I'm going to pick it up with a brush and sort of pounce it into my skin. Again, it does apply nicely, but I definitely can feel it getting a little bit tacky. So I think you do need to work a little bit quickly with this. Okay. I feel like I need a little bit more, especially on my nose, and maybe build up a little bit on my cheeks. So I'm going to take about a half a pump, and I am going to just build it up a little bit on my nose and on my cheeks. I guess I'm going to use a brush to build it. Just pounce it in with a brush. I can still see my sort of redness peeking through. So I would say this is light to possibly a very light medium coverage. But I do think the finish is pretty. I feel like the finish is radiant and glowy, but not overly shiny. I need to take a really close look with a magnifying glass and see how it is looking. Just sort of gathering in the corners of my nose. Very, very close up, you can see polka dot pores, but you can't see the polka dot pores from any kind of a distance. And I think my exfoliating mask did a very nice job because I'm really not seeing any dry patches accentuated. It is sinking into my forehead lines just a little bit. But overall, I think this is the best it has looked all week. So I do think the key is to exfoliate and to hydrate your skin. Next up, we are going in with the Uncover Up Concealer. I have this in the shade 22. Now the texture of this is very, very emollient and creamy. I have had this for a while, and I do find the best way to apply it is with the warmth of my finger. So I will just go in, and it really does apply and blend very, very easily. So there is one light layer of the Uncover Up compared to no concealer. Now I do find the coverage to be on the light side, but because it does have a little bit of a peachy hue, it does a fairly good job correcting even that dark inner corner, although not quite as well as some of my other correctors. Now, like I said, it's very, very emollient, and I hope you can see it has a very radiant finish. I have found it to be surprisingly resistant to creasing. I would say minimal creasing. No product is ever crease free, but minimal creasing. And as far as the wear time, it does wear off gracefully by the end of the day, but it doesn't look weird, and I do think it is a very nice product. Now, what I really do enjoy about this product is it is a really great concealer for around my nose, and you can even use this as a skin tint all over your entire face, especially on no makeup days. So it is a very flexible, multitasking product that I do very much enjoy. A product that I'm really surprised how much I am enjoying is the Buriti Cream Bronzer. Now, originally, I really wanted to try her Redimension Hydra Powder Bronzer, but my shade Beach Walk Betty was out of stock. So I picked up the Buriti Cream Bronzer. Now this only comes in one shade. Again, a very creamy emollient cream formula, but there is something about this shade. It is so neutral. There is no orange or overly warmth to it. If anything, there might be just a touch of red, which is how my skin looks when it gets touched by the sun. And it has the most beautiful touch of radiance with no shimmer, no glitter. It is so easy to apply with the fingers. And I think you're going to see how truly this gives just the most beautiful sun-kissed, radiant glow. Put a little bit on my forehead where the sun naturally hits my face. And a little bit what's left on my finger on the bridge of my nose. So there is the bronzer. No bronzer. I love this bronzer. It might be my new favorite bronzer. Next up is blush. I have a powder blush. My skin is still feeling just a little bit tacky, so I am going to go in with some of my Hourglass Ambient Lighting powder just to take some of the tackiness down and make sure the powder blush doesn't stick. You can see, my gosh, I'm almost done with this. This is Ambient Lighting powder in the shade Diffused Light. This is the most gorgeous powder. Now, I didn't order an RMS powder because I think she only has a loose powder, and I just prefer pressed powders over loose powders. I don't know, that's just me. Anyway, going in, and I am just going to softly put this everywhere, mostly just to take some of that tackiness down. I should make sure that I have no creases under my eyes. You know, you really cannot over apply this powder. It is absolutely perfect for mature skin, never looks cakey, and it doesn't, what it does is it takes the shine down, but it leaves the glow. Hourglass Ambient Lighting powder is my absolute #1 all-time favorite powder. The very first product that I ordered from RMS a couple of months ago is her Redimension Hydra Powder Blush. In fact, this is the product that got me interested in her entire line. I enjoyed this blush so much, I ordered a few more shades. It comes in this elegant, sturdy little compact for $35, but she also has it available in refills for $28. So super good for the environment and a little easier on our pocketbook. Now this formula is so incredibly unique. It feels almost like a cream, yet it is a powder. It has a cutting edge gel to powder formula, and it contains jojoba oil and burita oil, and it has just the most beautiful luminosity without any shimmer or glitter. Now it does come in 10 shades. I have 4. I want all of them, and I am going to swatch all the shades. This is the shade Pomegranate Fizz, which is described as a sunny, effervescent red pink. Next up, I gotta put my glasses on. Next up, I will swatch, what is this one? Sangria, and this is described as a golden spiced ruby rose. Now I do feel like this is a little bit more orange than I thought it was going to be, but I think it's going to be gorgeous in the summer months. Another gorgeous summer color will be Crystal Slipper, and this is described as a sheer sun-kissed buff. I feel like this is sort of like a bronzer shade. Could use, you know, as a blush bronzer combo. Really pretty, again, in the summer. And the last shade that I picked up is the shade Kir Royale, described as a dimensional mauve surprise. And here is Kir Royale. So that is a dimensional mauve surprise. So we have Pomegranate Fizz, Sangria, Crystal Slipper, that's not showing up very well, and Kir Royale. Let me build up that Crystal Slipper just a little bit. See if I can build up that Crystal Slipper a little bit. Yeah, okay. Gorgeous, gorgeous colors. I love all of them. I want all 10 of her shades. Anyway, today I am going in with one of my favorite shades, and that is Pomegranate Fizz. Now, these are very, very pigmented. It's really easy to overdo, so you want to use a very fluffy brush. I am going to use this Sephora blush that I've had for years. I think it's actually a highlighter brush. I'm not sure if they still have it. They call it a Feather Light blending brush. And because it is so fluffy, it won't lay the color down quite as intensely. The idea is to apply it in light layers and build it up. So I am going to just go in pretty gingerly. And yeah, see, even with the lightest touch, it is very, very pigmented, but oh, so pretty. Yeah, I just love that color. Now, if you get a little bit too much on, you can buff it down with a little bit of translucent powder, which is what I usually have to do because I haven't mastered the art of applying it quite lightly enough. But I am trying to be aware that the colors that look really bright in person don't always show up the same way on camera. So I do want you to see the color. So I'm not going to worry too much about over applying it. Now, Rosemarie has some tips keeping the blush above the level of your nose, which I've been talking about for years. And not just putting it on the sides of your face, but rather a little bit just above the apple of the cheek. Okay, I'm looking pretty rosy. I do feel like I need to buff this down just a little bit, pick up a little bit, and you can just sort of buff the edges, buff that shade down a little bit, just to take the intensity down just a little bit. Yeah. Okay. I think that's perfect. I love the blush. I love the shade. I love the glow. I highly, highly recommend the RMS Redimensioned Hydro Powder blushes. About a month ago, I did a one and done eyeshadow roundup video. And in that video, I included the RMS Eyelights Cream Eyeshadow in the shade Strobe, which is a gorgeous metallic taupe. So of course I had to pick up a couple more shades, and I have swatched them for you. This is the shade Strobe, again, a beautiful metallic taupe. This is the shade Supernova, and I hope that you can see that it is much less metallic than Strobe, but it still has a beautiful shimmer. This is full strength Supernova, and this is Supernova blended out a little bit. So they are very flexible. And this last shade is the shade called Moondust, a beautiful creamy golden champagne, again with a beautiful metallic finish. Now, these are very long lasting. I swatched these about 10 minutes ago. Once they set down on your eyes, they are not going anywhere. Now, my favorite is still Strobe, and so that's what I'm going to use today. Now, when I see people apply these highlights in videos, it looks so easy, but I do find them just a little bit tricky to use. It does take a little practice and getting used to. It does come in this little tube, and you need the smallest amount. So I am going to put some on the back of my hand. That is way too much. And I'm going to pick it up with my finger, just a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I am going to pat this directly onto my eyelid. And then I'm going to use a brush to blend out the edges. Now these do dry down fairly quickly, so you do have to do one eye at a time, but actually that was pretty easy. So there is one eye with the shade Strobe. let's get it on the other side. Just picking up a little bit more, patting it directly onto the eyelid, and blending the edges. All right, so here is RMS Eyelights in the shade Strobe. Now, I did not buy any RMS mascara or brow product, so I am going to go off camera, do my brows, my mascara, and then we will come back and play with some lipstick. All right, eyes are done, and we are going to move on to lipstick, which is my favorite category of makeup. And I went a little crazy and I ordered one of most of the lip products she has on her website, starting with her Go Nude Lip Pencil. This is a lip pencil that you do need to sharpen, and she does sell it with a sharpener, which is nice. And interestingly enough, on the other side, it comes with this little brush that looks like an eyebrow brush. I've never seen a lip pencil come with a brush like this. I'm not really sure what to do with it. Anyway, I ordered this in the shade Morning Dew, which is described as a cool, dusty rose. You know, the formula is very creamy, but not too creamy. I think it's a really pretty color. And let me get this on my lips. And I am going to fill in a little bit. Okay, so that is her lip pencil in the shade Morning Dew. The next lip product that I picked up is a lip balm, and this is called Tinted Daily Lip Balm, and I picked it up in the shade Darling Lane, which is again a sheer dusty rose. So here is the lip balm. You can see it is really quite sheer. And let me put this over the lip liner. You know, on its own, this probably doesn't have very much pigment, but it is really good for over a lip liner. Now, it is a very hydrating balm, but it's not too heavy, it's not too greasy. It feels really good, and it does come in multiple shades. I really do like the lip balm. Next up, we have a product that I did not enjoy at all, and this is called the Wild with Desire lipstick. And I picked it up in the shade Magic Hour, which is described as a muted earthy mauve. However, to me that's just like a brown. And I will say the formula is very stiff, very dry. So the shade does not work for me. The formula does not work for me. I will not be ordering any more of her Wild with Desire lipsticks. I have two more products that I picked up. This one is the Lip Lights. It is sort of a creamy gloss. I have to put my glasses on so I can see what shade this is. This is a creamy gloss in the shade Rumor, and it comes in a tube very much like the Eye Lights comes in a tube. It's a very thick cream. It does spread pretty well. It is quite pigmented. Again, what shade is this? Did I say the shade name? I'll put the shade name on the screen. I think it's a really pretty shade, but because it is so pigmented, it is a little difficult for me to apply with my finger. I really do think this product would be better in a tube with a doe foot applicator, but I do like it, and it is surprisingly long lasting for a cream style gloss. Again, very pigmented, long lasting cream style gloss, multiple shades. I do like it. My favorite formula of all the RMS lip products that I have tried so far is her Legendary Serum Lipstick. This comes in 8 super vibrant shades. I picked it up in the shade Linda, which is a very vibrant raspberry. And there is the shade Linda. you can see how pigmented and how opaque it is. Now, this is a little brighter than what I want to wear today, but I am going to try it on for you and show you how it looks. This just glides on the lip. It feels really interesting. It has almost a wet or watery feeling as you put it on. Now that packs a punch. Now that wet, watery feeling does disappear and it just feels really moisturizing and hydrating. And I will say this is a very long-lasting lipstick. But like I said, this is a little brighter than what I want to use today. So I am going to show you the other shade that I picked up. Oh my gosh. That actually leaves a little bit of a stain. Again, a very, very long-lasting formula. So she also came out with her Legendary lipstick in nude. So Legendary Serum Lipstick Nude. I think there are 5 nude shades. And I have it in the shade Naomi, which is a sultry, earthy nude. And here is the shade Naomi. You can see it is much more tame than Linda. So let's get this on my lips. I just love the way this feels going on. It has the most unique feeling. Like I said, it has a wet, watery feeling, which disappears. It doesn't feel wet on your lips very long. Then it just feels creamy and moisturizing. Okay, so there is the shade Linda. Another thing I really love about these lipsticks is the packaging. The color of the packaging matches the shade of the lipstick, making it so much easier to find the lipstick shade that you are looking for. So here we have almost a full face of RMS Beauty. As far as my final thoughts, there were definitely some hits and some misses. I'm going to very quickly go through the 10 products that I shared with you, and I'm going to rank them from worst to best. Now, there were only a couple of fails. At the bottom of the list, my least favorite is the Sun Cover Up Super Tint SPF 50. I just didn't care for this. Not only do they not have a shade that works for my skin, but I just have so many other skin tints that aren't anywhere nearly as finicky as this. So for me, this is a fail. Another product I probably will never reach for again is the Wild with Desire lipstick. Not only is the shade not good for me, but the formula is incredibly stiff and incredibly dry. So I am definitely not going to be purchasing any more of these. These next 2 products, the balm and the gloss, are pretty much a tie. I enjoyed how the balm felt on my lips, but it is a little pricey for a balm. I really enjoyed how pigmented and long-lasting this creamy gloss was. I do wish it came with a doe foot applicator. You know, these are both very nice products and I did enjoy them, but they don't necessarily stand out to me as my all-time favorite products. And now we're getting into the top 5. In the number 5 position is the Uncover Up Concealer. This is a lovely product. I love how hydrating and natural it is. It is a fantastic multitasker. You can use it as a concealer and as an all-over very light covered skin tint. I think this is perfect for natural makeup days. In the number 4 position are the RMS Cream Eyeshadows. I love this product. Now, the only reason it's not a little higher in the ranking is it is a little tricky to work with and it does take a little practice. But once you get it down, these are the most beautiful, long-lasting, one and done cream eyeshadows. Now we're getting into the top 3. In the number 3 position, and this one really surprised me, and it is the Buriti Cream Bronzer. And one of the reasons it surprised me so much is I'm really not that big of a bronzer fan. It's not a product I use all the time. It's probably one of my least favorite makeup categories. However, I have never tried a cream bronzer quite like this. This gives the most natural, the most beautiful, luminous, sun-kissed glow. I love this. In the number 2 position, the Legendary Serum Lipsticks. Incredibly pigmented, yet hydrating and long-lasting. I definitely want to pick up a few more shades. And in the number 1 position, the best of the best, is the Redimension Hydra Powder Blush. I love the gel to powder formula. The shades are stunning and I adore the luminous glow. As always, everything will be listed and linked in the description box below, including the 20% discount code, which brings the price down for these somewhat expensive products. And please share your favorites so we can all help each other. And with that, have yourself a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in my next video. As always, I will include this, and I ordered pretty much every lip product, almost every lip product on her website. That, can you imagine, 4 Palms would be, which is a gorgeous metallic, what is it? And I ordered one of most of her most of the lip products she has. A little bit, what's left on my fingers, just up my nose, not up my nose,